Hello and welcome back to Existing, the series where I make eggs at 11:36 a.m. My dad sleeps downstairs, and when I went to get the eggs out of the fridge, he saw me fully clothed at this late hour of the night, and he hasn't closed his door when normally it is closed. So I'm trying to be as quiet as possible while I make this video and these eggs. Okay, well, while that starts cooking, you may be wondering, Eagle, why are you talking about random stuff while making / eating eggs at this late hour of the night? Doesn't that seem pretty familiar to you? And that would be absolutely correct, because my main inspiration for doing these existing videos, even though this is literally just the second one, is, you may have heard of the channel Caroline Consnar, Corncar, whatever it may be, but she basically just makes ship hosts and music. But there's also this series called The Corncast, which is basically she's just talking about random problems to the camera, and they're not even like proper problems, it's just random stuff. And like, maybe I'm just a little bit off in the brain, but I really enjoy these. It's just talking to the camera about all this stuff. It makes zero sense, yet it makes so much sense at the exact same time. And there's no need to keep yourself from it, you're just talking. And that's kind of something I want to do. Hold on, I need to flip these eggs. And that's something I just sort of want to be able to do. So that's why I'm making these existing videos. And of course, one of her videos started off with her making scrambled eggs, and then she ate them while she talked. This is, I guess you could say, I took inspiration from that. Scrambled eggs is probably the best thing that I can cook, and quick, and sometimes late at night when I'm hungry, I make it, like right now. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, not spraying the Pam oil so that way I wouldn't make noise and look at my dad probably wasn't worth it, because now there's egg stuff sticking to the pan. If you know these existing problems, or if you just think listening to random problems is the type of thing for you, then I would recommend checking out Caroline Consnar. Although her channel, it's a lot, to say it, more uncensored, and you're more likely to find offensive jokes and whatnot there. I just really like the format, so that's kind of what I'm doing here. But anyway, there's not really much to say. I mean, continuing on the topic of existing, I said in the first episode that I had another episode planned in said format, which is going to be probably the third episode of Existing. It's going to come a bit sooner than I had originally anticipated, because a lot of the stuff that I would mention, it's honestly just not the type of thing I really want to share publicly. So if I do end up sharing it publicly, it's going to be a part 2, but all the main stuff, it's going to be in part 1. I've been planning, I have a notes Word document, which probably it defeats the purpose of an improv, just talking to the camera thing, but at the same time, like, this is a subject I really want to, like, talk about and get out of my head, so I want to make sure I get all the details right. And I think the eggs are pretty much ready. Let's get a paper plate. And it's food time. So I'm just gonna eat here in the living room, because why not? Today, well, for a little bit of background, yesterday, my mom basically said we need to talk about me getting exercise because it's summer, it's quarantine, I'm basically spending all of my time not outside, so I kept that in mind, and today I ended up going outside twice, once to eat breakfast, once to eat lunch. Both times I spent about 10 minutes outside, and then went inside because I saw a wasp. Pretty certain it was that same wasp both times. So the outside it's fun while it lasts. But anyway, still, I got outside for a good amount of time, existed. My mom was surprised to hear that, because in order to counteract me not getting exercise, she made me go on a walk with her. So when we were walking, I asked her, how many times have I been outside today? And she was like, 0. And I said, no, too, and she was really surprised. So hopefully I can get away with just sort of vibing outside. I think that would be a good way to just sort of be outside, I guess. It's also a nice place to record videos. You might have seen currently the most recent video up on my channel is Green, which is literally just noises of the outside, backyard, nature, whatever, along with clips of trees and plants. Like, I was just sitting outside eating breakfast this morning. It was like 9 something a.m. and I was like, I don't know why, but this would make a good video. So I decided to just make that sort of video, and I think the nature of it seems cryptic, although at the same time it's literally just sort of stillness of the plants, but not stillness because there's wind pushing them around. Operating systems, that's a topic we can talk about. In my most recent Slime Rancher stream, which is number 5, I mentioned that I was streaming on Ubuntu Linux, and I decided to switch to it and have Windows as a secondary thing for like editing and graphic design. It worked out a little well, except Ubuntu is just, it's nice, it's not as laggy and random problems as Windows, although it has its own problems like file icons on the desktop. You can't sort them and they just get weird. At one point they just randomly disappeared. Scaling, my laptop screen, it's 15 inches and it's 1920 by 1080. So, of course, it's going to be a bit of a smaller screen with a higher resolution. So, by default, Windows 10 makes my screen scaling 125%, which works very well. And Ubuntu 2004 now has scaling, which is very nice. Except the only options you see are 100% and 200%. But then there's a little, not really a checkbox, but like a slider that says enable fractional percentage scaling. So I clicked it, it let me do 125%. I kind of realized the reason why it sort of has that warning. It doesn't do it normally like Windows. What it does is it makes my 1920 by 1080 screen 2,300 something pixels by 1,700 something pixels. I think it boosts it to 200%, so it sort of simulates 125% scaling, but that's not good for other apps that don't support scaling, like GIMP, Audacity. When you'd open them, everything would just be super small and hard to tell what's going on. It really wasn't fun, so I was like, you know what? Ubuntu has these random little issues, and I'm gonna be on my Windows install a lot anyway for video editing and graphic design. I'm just going to go back to Windows 10, so that's what I did today. I'm on Windows 10 again. Hopefully it'll work, and hopefully everything will work out. But anyway, it's 1 a.m. in 4 minutes, and I don't really have much to say, so... back on the topic of the next existing video. A couple of my friends, and pretty much all my active viewers, are just friends of mine. Hello, I hope you all are having a nice night, morning, afternoon, whatever it may be. I've already sort of vented to a couple of my friends what this sort of issue is. You probably know who you are, but I'm going to get a more in-depth into this in the next existing video, along with another thing. Basically, it's going to be a video. I've been wanting to talk about this for ages. I'm super excited to record it. I guess that's pretty much it, so thank you all for watching, and bye.